guys, what's up? Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a full face of my Sephora sale recommendations. So if you don't know, Sephora is having their sale really soon. I do have the date, so I will have all that information down below in the description. But I'm excited about this video because I'm going to be actually using the products that I shared in my recommendations video. So you guys will see the products in action and all of that good stuff. I'm not going to go too much in depth with each product because I did that in my recommendations video, but this video is just pretty much showing you guys the products in action. And I tried to recreate the look that I had on in that video. Now the products that I had on the face in that video was not the products that I'm gonna be using. It's just that a lot of you were requesting me to do that look, so I wanted to go ahead and recreate it for you guys. So I'm super excited. So if you guys are interested in seeing my full face of my Sephora sale recommendations, then let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so first we're gonna go into moisturizer, which is the Korres 24-hour brightening moisturizer. And like I mentioned in the recommendations video, I like how this is really lightweight and perfect to wear under your makeup. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on first. All right, now that we're nice and moisturized, I'm gonna go ahead and take some primer, and that is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which is pretty new. I did get the smaller size. They do have a larger size if you guys wanna pick up the larger one, but I wanted to get the smaller one because I wanted to try it out first instead of, you know, going big first. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and do my brows while I let this sit on my face. I noticed when I let the primer sit before applying my makeup, it's just something about it sitting on the skin for a few minutes before going straight into applying the makeup. So while that's sitting, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. I'm gonna take the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I use the shade 5, and I can also use the shade 4.5, but today we're gonna use the shade 5. So I'll go ahead, I'll go ahead and fill them in so you guys can see how I fill them in. I showed this part in quite a few of my recent videos. Not recent, but it's been maybe about 5 or 6 or 7 videos back. Can't remember. But I pretty much just take my brow pencil and just kind of lightly trace the bottom of my brow, and then lightly trace the top of the brow, and then lightly fill it in like this. Now just make really short strokes like this. I don't really like to overdraw my brows anymore. I kind of like to keep the shape of them because I do like how they look like this instead of having them thick. But this is pretty much all that I do with my brows. I don't take too much of the product right here because I do, well, you guys will see what I do in a few, but this is how I fill in the brows. Now that my brows are filled in, I like to go in with some concealer just to clean up the bottom and the top. I always use these by Kevyn Aucoin. I don't think they have these on the Sephora site, but if you're looking for a concealer that comes in like a little container like this, the NARS Creamy Matte Concealer, and also the Laura Mercier Concealer. I forgot what it's called exactly, but I used to use that all the time. I think I was in the shade 7. If I can, I'm actually going to leave that down below in the description because that is definitely one that I would recommend. So they do come in little packagings like this where you can just dip your brush in it and then apply it on your face. So the Laura Mercier and then the NARS Creamy Matte. But since I don't have those anymore, I just like to use my Kevyn Aucoin. So I have the shade 13 and 14. And these are actually called the Sensual Skin Enhancers. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the brows really quick. I take the number 13 for my bottom and then the number 14 for the top. So let me do that really quick and I'll be right back. All right, so this is what it looks like so far with my brows. I still go in the inner corners and just kind of blend those in later on, which you guys will see. But next we're gonna take the foundation, which is the Estée Lauder Double Wear in the shade Sandalwood. They do have, I think they have a pump for these. No, they don't, but you can get a pump for this foundation from MAC. I used to have it. I don't know what happened to it, but you definitely can get a pump to go on this foundation. I wish they already had one on there, but you know, what do you do? I just went ahead and put a little bit on my hand. I'm gonna take my sponge. This sponge is Sonia Kashuk, and I got this from Target. But just blend out this foundation. So I'm just gonna stay with this one layer of foundation. I'm not gonna go in with any more because it gives me just enough coverage, so I don't really need any more of the foundation. So I'm gonna go in with the concealer. I know I mentioned 2 concealers in the recommendations video, which is the Born This Way full coverage concealer by Too Faced, and then the Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer. So I have the shade Chestnut and the Born This Way concealer, and then I have the shade Peanut Butter in the Huda Beauty. So just so you guys can see how these look on my face, I'm actually going to use both of them. So I'm going to apply a little bit of each on each side. So this is Chestnut by Too Faced. Just going to apply a little bit of the concealers. And honestly, I've never even used both of these together. This will be my first time, but I really want you guys to see how they look. So Huda is definitely a little bit more lighter than Too Faced, so I'm not gonna apply too much of that. Just a little bit on my chin, forehead, and then my nose, like that. And also, one thing about the Huda concealer is it dries down a little matte, so you want to make sure that you don't leave it set it on your you don't leave it on there too long. This actually looks good blended together. Okay. Now that our concealer is blended, we're gonna go in with setting powder, and I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty setting powder in the shade Banana. This was a little bitty deluxe size, but I am gonna be picking up another one of these because I love how this looks compared to the Banana one. So I will be purchasing the full size. They actually have new smaller sizes. It's not like small like this, but it's a pretty decent size, it looks like on the website, and I think they're only $18. And I just like how this looks. Like the Banana is a little too light. I like how this one looks on my skin compared to. And then I'm gonna set the rest of my face using my Sephora Microsmooth powder. I have the shade Deep Ebony, and I had one of you ask me what type of brush I use with this, and I always use my little powder brush from my brush set, which I will have linked down below in my description if you guys did not get to check out my brush set in collaboration with Peach and Pearl. But I'm just gonna go ahead and brush this all over the face. Freaking love this powder, y'all. My favorite powder ever. And the next step I like to do is go back into my brows and take the little spoolie on the brow pencil and just blend out the inner corners like this so that they can look really nice and faded right in this area. All right, so the next step I like to do is to bronze up my skin, and I'm gonna be using my Sephora Spice Market palette for my bronzer, my blush, and my highlighter. So instead of just using several different other products, I'm just gonna use this one product, which you guys heard me talk highly of in my recent video. So I like to take this shade right here and use it as my bronzer. This is pretty much like a blush palette, but this is really, really pretty on me as a bronzer. So I'm gonna take the Hourglass Veil powder brush, which is another product that I mentioned in the recommendations video, and I'm just gonna brush a little bit of that on the side of my face like this. Then I'm taking the larger side of the brush and just lightly brushing it on my forehead and working my way back down towards my cheeks. And then I like to go on the sides of my nose with bronzer. So I'm gonna take the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Coco Naughty and take a little bit of that down the sides of my nose. I'm using this little brush that I got from Walmart. It's by Flower Beauty. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and go down the sides of my nose. All right, so let's go ahead and do the eyes. I wanna do the blush, the highlighter, and the lips last. So I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Pro Warm palette, which is my favorite palette, you guys. Love this. I'm gonna go in with this yellow right here. They don't have shade names, so I'm gonna have to point to them as I go. And I'm taking my Morphe M535 brush to apply this color. Hopefully it turns out like it did. Ooh, that's brighter than what I had on yesterday, but we will definitely make it work. So I'm just gonna tap it right here on the lid, kind of towards the inner corner and kind of work it into the crease a little bit. I'm not gonna drag the color all the way over. I just want to keep that color right here, if you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't want it that bright though, so I'm gonna make sure to blend so it won't look too bright. Just kind of blend it in like so. Then I'm gonna take my Morphe M504 brush and go into this color right here. This is like a brown color, and I'm pretty much just gonna pack this on the outer part of the lid right here. Yeah, this is definitely darker. It's not gonna match up perfectly to the look that I have, but the colors that I use were kind of similar to these colors. So I'm just gonna pack it right here and kind of work it into the crease. And then drag it up to blend up towards my brow bone. All right, going back into the palette, I want to pick up this lighter shade right here, and I'm going back with my M535 brush, and I'm gonna go over that yellow just a little bit, like so. Then taking the M504 brush again, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is the one that I hit pan on, and I'm gonna go over that first shade that we used with that color. All right, so that is all that I'm gonna do for the eyes. Now I'm gonna go in with my mascara and my lashes. The mascara I'm using is the Hourglass Caution, which I am gonna be picking up another one of these. And the lashes I'm gonna be using are by Ardell. You can't get those from Sephora because they are drugstore, but Ulta is having their sale, which is 20% off, so I will be stocking up on those lashes. So I use the Ardell Remy Lashes style 778. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop those on real quick, a little bit of mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have our lashes on. I'm gonna go in with the inner corner of the tear ducts and take a highlighter shade out of this palette. I think I wanna take this middle one right here. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rose gold looking highlighter. It is gorgeous, look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So I'm gonna take that for the inner corner of my eyes just to kind of brighten it up. And then sticking to the palette, we're gonna take this shade right here and use it as our blush. If you ever put on too much blush, you can go back over it with your powder brush that you used to apply your powder earlier. Just do that. And since we're still using this palette, we're gonna use it as our highlighter too. So going into this shade, this is the one that we use for the inner corner of the eyes. So I'm gonna take this little Milani brush and use it as my highlight. Look at that. I feel like I don't need to put highlighter on my forehead, but I'm gonna do it anyway because why not? And then we're gonna pop a little bit right here because we want to glow. And then I'm gonna blend that out with my powder brush so it won't look too glowy. So I realized I didn't talk about any lip products in my recommendations video, but if I had to recommend any lipsticks, the Sephora cream, I think they're called the Rouge cream lipsticks. This one is in the shade R68 and it's called Authentic. One of my freaking favorites. Very creamy and the color is up my alley. You guys see, it's like that mauve rosy color, which I love. Now this isn't the lipstick that I had on in the video, but you know, I just wanted to share it. All right, you guys, so this is what it all looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're gonna be picking up from the sale. I would love to know your recommendations, so let's go ahead and chit chat down below in the comments. I am doing a giveaway on my channel for this whole year, so every single month I'm giving away one box to one person. So it's super easy to enter the giveaway. All you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed, make sure you thumbs up the video, as well as leave a comment down below in the comment section. And I don't want the comments to be anything about the giveaway. Let's just go go ahead and talk about the products that you guys are going to be picking up during the sale, products that you guys recommend to me, just all of that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.